In another major red flag for Greta Gerwig and Netflix's upcoming The Chronicles of Narnia adaptation, it has been revealed that feminist activist Carey Mulligan has been cast in the first film. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. And this report comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kitt. He claims that Carey Mulligan is in negotiations to nab a key role in Narnia, Greta Gerwig's adaptation of C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia fantasy novels. The report notes that this film will be an adaptation of Lewis's The Magician's Nephew, and that Mulligan will play the sick mother of Diggory. She is allegedly joined by Daniel Craig, who plays Diggory's uncle, Andrew, as well as Emma Mackey as the White Witch and Meryl Streep as a sex-swapped Aslan. Mulligan's recent films include The Ballad of Wallace Island, Spaceman, Maestro, Saltburn, and Promising Young Woman. That last one is extraordinarily relevant here because during the promotion of that film, Mulligan made it clear she was a feminist activist and pilloried a movie reviewer by insinuating he was sexist and misogynistic. After the film debuted at the Sundance Film Festival on January 25, 2020, Variety's Dennis Harvey reviewed the film, writing, "Mulligan, a fine actress, seems a bit of an odd choice as this admittedly many-layered apparent femme fatale. Margot Robbie is a producer here, and one can, perhaps too easily, imagine the role might have once been intended for her. Whereas with this star, Cassie wears her pickup bait gear like bad drag. Even her long blonde hair seems a put-on. The flat American accent she delivers in her lowest voice register likewise seems a bit meta, though it's not quite clear what the quote marks around this performance signify." Harvey then went on to praise Mulligan, saying, "Still, like everything here, this turn is skillful, entertaining, and challenging, even when the eccentric method obscures the precise message. Promising Young Woman is often at its most inspired when contradicting itself. One of the grimmest scenes here is accompanied by something utterly incongruous from The King and I, and the frisson between image and song is so flummoxing, it's rather brilliant." Ahead of the film's December 2020 release, so a year after Harvey reviewed the film at Variety, Mulligan spoke to the New York Times, and he insinuated that Harvey's review reeked of sexism and misogyny. She said, "I read the Variety review because I'm a weak person, and I took issue with it. It felt like it was basically saying that I wasn't hot enough to pull off this kind of ruse. It wasn't some sort of ego-wounding thing. Like, I fully can see that Margot Robbie is a goddess. It drove me so crazy. I was like, really? For this film, you're going to write something that is so transparent now in 2020? I just couldn't believe it. We don't allow women to look normal anymore or like a real person. Why does every woman who's ever on screen have to look like a supermodel? That has shifted into something where the expectation of beauty and perfection on screen has gotten completely out of control. I just don't think that's really what storytelling or acting needs to be about. Things can be beautiful without being perfect." So, when I covered this back in 2020, 2021, when this was making headlines, I clearly thought this was a marketing PR stunt that Carey Mulligan was engaging in to try to gin up interest in this promising young woman film, get people to go to the theaters, get critics, reviewers to maybe look at it a second time, and just try to get people interested in this movie. And they were trying to use this attack on this Variety reviewer to do so. And actually, in his response to her, he insinuates that. I didn't include that in this article, but he does question the timing of her comments and the fact that the film was being released to a wide audience in theaters in that December, around that December timeframe, where Mulligan was giving that New York Times interview, whereas he reviewed the film after some festival where it had premiered at. So after Mulligan made her comments, Variety added an editor's note to the review saying, "Variety sincerely apologizes to Carey Mulligan and regrets the insensitive language and insinuation in our review of Promising Young Woman that minimized her daring performance. It's just utterly ridiculous, and shame on Variety for even publishing an editor's note. Should have actually defended their reviewer who said nothing wrong." He did go and tell The Guardian and defended himself in The Guardian, saying, "I did not say or even mean to imply Mulligan is not hot enough for the role. I'm a 60-year-old gay man. I don't actually go around dwelling on the comparative hotnesses of young actresses, let alone writing about that." From there, he shared that he was appalled to be tarred as a misogynist, which is something very alien to my personal beliefs or politics. This whole thing could not be more horrifying to me than if someone had claimed I was a gung-ho Trump supporter. He then explained the part of his review that Mulligan seemingly took issue with, saying, "I assume that filmmakers who created such a complex, layered movie wouldn't interpret what I wrote as some kind of simple-minded sexism. And while Carey Mulligan is certainly entitled to interpret the review however she likes, her projection of it, suggesting she's not hot enough, is, to me, just bizarre. I'm sorry she feels that way, but I'm also sorry that's a conclusion she would jump to because it's quite a leap." So this is the person that they chose to cast for this Narnia film. I don't think that that is a coincidence. We know Greta Gerwig is a feminist. She admitted that her Barbie movie is a feminist. She said that in multiple interviews while promoting the film. And now they're casting a feminist activist in Carey Mulligan to be one of the, supporting characters in the upcoming Narnia film, which is an adaptation of The Magician's Nephew. We also know they're doing the sex-swapped Aslan, or at least that's what it has been reported by multiple outlets now, with Meryl Streep playing it. I mean, this just looks like an absolute disaster of a film. You've got Daniel Craig in it as well. He is also kind of that feminist ilk. And everything about this movie just reeks of awfulness, reeks that they're going to clearly try to subvert what Lewis's intentions were for these books. And that is, I think, the point of these movies. That's why they potentially hired Greta Gerwig in the first place. And I certainly am not looking forward to these movies whatsoever at this point. Everything we're hearing about this looks like an utter and total disaster. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?